6 o'clock. We're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. Adam, will you open us in prayer, please?
Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight, Lord, giving thanks. We thank you so much for the opportunity to gather here. We ask, Lord, for your guidance and your wisdom as we make these decisions and go through the business that needs to be discussed tonight. We ask all of this in our Lord and Savior's name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. All right, roll call. We are missing Sabrina Peoples. All right, if y'all will take a look at the January 13 minutes. Let me know if we have any corrections. If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve minutes.
Do we have a second? Second. All right, Adam and Adam. All in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. STREAMSOUTH door lock system. All right, just for everybody's information, we've had several issues with doors and whether it's the fire department, the park, the community center. We've only got one code for the community center and all that. We've been looking for some solutions, and we've got a solution or proposed solution to put coded locks on every door in the town. And what that will do is we can control every lock, what time people come in and out, and track who can come in and out. We can give codes that are valid only during certain times. For instance, the park bathroom. We had somebody living in one of the park bathrooms this past week that tore up the switch. So we can automatically lock the bathrooms at midnight and automatically unlock them at 5 or 6 a.m. for the people that are walking at the track. So we can track who comes in and out of the fire department, who comes in and out of any and all of the buildings. We can also track with the lights, who turns the lights on, who turns them off. Each person will have a separate code, so if they give their code out and the lights are left on, that specific person will lose their privileges because they're the ones who gave the code away, or they're the ones that left it on. For the concession stand, if somebody needs to make a delivery, we can give them a specific code that's only good for 30 minutes. She can activate it, and for 30 minutes they can go in and out. After that, it's locked. So it's a really good system. If any of the council have any questions, Adam's in the back of the room. He can answer any questions, but I think it's something that is long overdue for multiple reasons.
Is there a recurring cost every month?
Yes.
Yes, sir, there is a recurring cost.
Is it on here?
Yes. It's for
$45 per building. It's not per door. It's each building, except for the storage building. We won't charge for that one, but this building, the fire department, senior center, the concession stand, and the bathrooms would all.
So we can't use the same box for here and
Not for the fire department. You can share it with the storage buildings. We can't. There's too much metal, too much
Okay.
interference there.
Okay.
This is 220.
Yeah, that'll be good.
The rest of it is fixed costs, and we do have money in the capital budget to do it if that's what y'all want to do.
We can go.
Make a motion, we do it.
All right. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Joey and Joey.
Take it out of the capital.
Joey. All right. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor? Opposed? All right. Motion passes. Fire department. Do we have anything, Joey? Fire department? Just FYI, you might see the post. We had 4 people attend the children's pediatric EMS simulation lab today. So we were 4 hours of dealing with nothing but pediatrics and pediatric emergencies. So that went really well. So let's see that. All right.
There were a couple more STREAMSOUTH invoices in there for y'all to look at.
That was your monitor?
One's a monitor, my screen's going out and won't stay on, so he's gonna bring me a new computer monitor. And then on this one for $4.95 is, the homeless man moved from the heating and air units behind the fire station to the park. So therefore, we don't have a camera that viewed the heating and air system behind the fire station and the back door. So Adam said he could add a camera to our system that views the units and the back door of the fire station.
I make a motion that we move forward with this. We found 2 blankets in between the building and the heat pump that were very flammable, so if a spark would have hit, it could cause the whole apartment on fire. So
Yeah.
I am all for us making sure that we have viewpoints back there so nobody's hiding.
All right, do we have a second to Adam's? All right, motion and a second, all in favor? All right, that
I
motion
think that was
passes.
it. That was it for him.
All right, legal, sir.
I've got one thing on the charter franchise. On the term of this agreement, they had this 20 years, no way I agree to a 20-year term. I would do max 5 years on paragraph number 3. That's the only thing I would strike that. If I might go 3 years, but no more than 5. Because this technology can change a lot, and I wouldn't do more than 5 years. So, but other than that, that's a good agreement. I did have a couple of comments on the field lease, but whenever that comes up, is that?
On this, do they need, would they wanna do more than 5 years since they're putting all that investment in the infrastructure? You think that's why they're asking for 20?
Probably yes, but if it's, I mean, I just, 20's a long time to go. So.
Oh, I don't disagree, I just didn't know if they would be agreeable to it.
Yeah.
But we will, if,
What's their option if they don't?
well, this is true, they don't have it, so. All right, so I will entertain a motion to
Change it.
approve it as, amended by the, or recommended by the attorney if
On paragraph 3, term of 5 years.
somebody wants to.
I'll make the motion.
Jody Lane makes a motion.
Oh,
And there, that's
I'll second.
All right. All right, have a motion and a second to approve the charter, franchise agreement for, fiber and Locust. All in favor? Opposed?
he also says for the mayor tax to keep documents.
Yes. All right, well, let's go to the park agreement since we're in legal already. Sir, what were your comments and recommendations on that?
All right, starting on the front page, this is a really good road traffic. I guess if it came from Lisa's committee, they did a great job. Start with just a couple things I would change. On paragraph number 2, I don't know that we need to have a copy of all the rosters and participants and players and all that, because I think that kind of tacitly, we're making kind of a tacit agreement, we have some kind of control over that. I don't think we need a copy of any of the players or rosters or any of that stuff. And on paragraph 3, I don't think we need a copy of the officials and all that. I mean, I don't want that to somewhat imply that we have some kind of control over the officials. And
We do the background checks on those though, so.
We don't.
Or they pay for us to do it, don't they?
We
The
have
leagues
service.
pay,
Right.
we pay the annual fee for them to use that,
So
software.
they
But
actually
they do their own and they make their coaches pay for them, on both leagues, or all three.
I would let that be the league thing, let them be in charge of that.
So,
What number is that?
Do you think that would
Number
be
3.
issues, the fact that they're paying the umpires, do we need a list of their names, so maybe we can keep up with that?
I get receipts and what, I
You won't
get
get, you get a list of them.
I get receipts. That's
So,
what-
but you're getting receipts of who money's going to,
Yep.
with the name on it?
Yep,
Well, I want to talk about that first too.
Yeah, and I think the thought behind that was issuing keys. That-
Well, I've got a thought on that too a little bit later, so.
well,
Okay,
I
that was the main thought behind number 3.
I think all we need is the officers.
Okay, was
That's
who
okay.
the county was gonna be issuing keys to, so I
Correct.
think that was the
Well,
thought behind it.
that is something I was going to look at on paragraph number 6. Paragraph 6 would reflect that the facility will be unlocked and secured by league representative. That kind of is very similar to paragraph 17 and 18 in as much it said list of names of contact information. I think we should have specific people from each league that would be in charge of the key and opening locks, locking locks, turning lights on, turning lights off, and have a specific person to be in charge of that. Because that's what we've had before, I understand, we've had problems with lights being left on and all that. So I would have however many people y'all determine and the leagues want to do, I'd have specific people in charge of having keys and access and all that, turning lights on, securing the premises when games are over. That's just my thought on that.
Okay.
And we discussed this, I know the town took over the collecting of all the money years and years ago due to, unfortunately, money being missing. Is that something that the town wants to continue being in charge of, is holding everybody's money, being in charge of all that money? Just food for thought, just a consideration.
Personal opinion on that is, I think we need to, because we may go 5 or 10 years with it going fine, and then it just takes one bad apple to put us back in the same
I
spot.
don't
So,
think it's any of the people sitting in this room,
No.
who comes next, and,
you
we
know,
don't.
well, not only that, when we manage it, then it's included in our audit, so it actually helps whoever, you know, the league as well, because the audit makes sure everybody stays honest on
Alright,
it.
I'm just, we had talked about that.
Right.
Now, sorry, I got 8's fine. Now, down in paragraph 12, now, what I would like to see happen is, this is what I thought happened, y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I thought the leagues bought insurance for the kids in case they got hurt or something like that, okay, good. Now, it says, determine reimbursement for 1/3 of the insurance expenses. I figured the leagues would be 100% responsible for insuring their players and doing all that.
As of right now, that's how it is.
Okay, well,
Well,
okay.
there's softball, baseball, and
That's for the third.
there's softball, baseball, and then there's football, cheer. And so each of these would be signed by one, and so.
I would just say each league responsible for providing their own insurance for their players and,
Liability.
and liability, and, I would wanna, indemnify and hold harmless and all that, so that we're not defending when somebody gets hurt out there.
So when they choose to come together under that umbrella plan, that's their choice, and we just pay the bill for them.
Yes, out of their money.
So continue to stay like it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
do you wanna put an amount in here, or just whatever it is currently?
Well, what currently is in place is what the high school requires them to have a minimum to play football on their field. So, I don't know if y'all have been with baseball, a limit, they just kind of fall under that same $1 million,
That's what I did. Okay.
I doubt they need that much, but the high school requires that.
Whatever the requirement is there, I think that would be sufficient, and certainly the chances of an injury in football would be vastly higher than in baseball or anything else, I would think, I
Right.
would assume, but anyway. Alright, that's good, and I would add in that, I would just say each league is responsible for their own insurance and provide, indemnify and hold harmless clause, and I can toss that in there easily.
Yeah, if you wanna put that language
I
in
can,
there.
I can check that out, that's no problem. And then, and going over to paragraph 17 and 18, under utilities, that kind of dovetails back into having each league choose certain people. I know the league's gonna say, hey, what if our 3 guys that have a key are out of town on vacation, something like that? That's true too, so I mean, that might be too restrictive, but in the past, I recall us having just tons of keys floating around out there, and it's just, right hand didn't know what the left hand was doing, so just from my experience in being here, that's what I'd suggest, is make sure we have certain people with keys and then responsible for the lights and all that.
The new system will allow, like say, Keith was going out of town and needs some dim, so-and-so, I'll have the access to give so-and-so a code for only those days.
Okay.
And then when those
Oh,
days are
perfect,
over, it'll go back to the original agreement.
Alright, so question about that. The light box.
That's Adam.
So the light lots can be handled as well?
Yes.
On the side of the concession stand?
We are actively working on a solution.
Okay,
We're gonna come up with something that's kind of unheard of what we're trying to do, but we're gonna make it work, because we do that.
What about the gate right before the walking track? Cause that one's just got padlocked on
The gate's
it.
gonna
Anything
stay
we
key.
do
It's gonna have to be a key.
Yeah, and the other thing, I don't know if we mentioned or not, we will have to take the bars that are on that door, they'll have to come off for this to be functional. So I'll take the bar, put it off.
Of the concession stand.
The security door? Yeah. Which that thing's all.
No, the light key box was for them drivers for all.
Gotcha.
So I think that part's an easy solution of,
Okay,
in the
perfect.
case that someone goes on vacation and that person, they can
Okay.
tell me who they're leaving in there, and we can just set a code for that. You know, I think that's easy with the new system
We'll
that's
put it
going
in,
on.
the town clerk is vice president in charge.
No,
Love it.
Submit
think
all
this is
your
gonna be
requests
fun.
and triplicate to the town clerk. The only other thing I see, and it was highlighted on discussion point, paragraph number 26. This is a policy decision, that just to discuss whether or not we want to have a certain amount of the, facility being, utilized by residents of the town. So, that's a policy item for y'all to discuss.
Lisa, did you put that in?
Mhm.
Okay. I thought so, that was in there the other day when we were looking at it. We just need to.
Now, I will say, and I don't know what the numbers have ever been, but in other municipalities I've represented, they do, some of them do have certain, at least benefits, for residents of the municipality. Say it's a sports complex or something, maybe a resident can use it for a certain discounted price where non-residents pay more, whatever. So that would be common in sports venues.
Well, our stance has historically been anybody that's within the school district community, you know, even though it's town property, we want to benefit people.
That is a good point, but as the municipalities I'm talking about, we've represented before, would be a little different, because there are cities with city school systems, so a little bit different. So I'm saying everybody that goes to school is in the same jurisdiction as the town, but here it's not the case. Good point, okay.
So, you know, we've always been a community part, even though Locust
Oh, yeah.
Fork taxes funded,
Sure.
it's been a community.
Well, that's true, because you know, it's, a lot of people go to those four schools that don't live inside them.
So,
Fair point.
So we just need to agree on a percentage of what we want.
If y'all want, if that's something y'all want to handle.
what does the advisory committee recommend? Did y'all have a recommendation when y'all discussed it?
I don't think we didn't have a recommendation when we discussed it. Our only concern was as everything grows, as the town grows, that the maintenance and the repairs and the anticipated work that needs to be done at the park be kept within the financial limits of the town. That was really kind of the thought behind that. Not to exclude anyone, but we only have so much capacity at that park. And based on the number of users is the amount of maintenance that's gonna have to be put forward. The playgrounds will have to be changed out, you know, it just kind of snowballs from there. So that's why I put that in as a discussion point on kind of what the financial ability of the town was to maintain the park as a whole.
Well, currently, I don't see we have an issue, but I mean, anticipating that issue, I don't know whether it's something we wanna actually address right now, or if we wanna, leave it open for further discussion later if it becomes a problem.
Yep, I'll say your numbers are 95% of the kids that live in this area are the ones playing. So we're talking plus or minus 5% that might be out of the area. I think eventually it is a good idea for us to do that, just in case this little town explodes.
Yeah, I mean, we just threw everything in there.
Yeah,
that y'all
not so
discussed what you
much to
wanted.
kind of curtail what they're doing now, but
No,
just the
yeah,
future.
no, that was not the thought.
Can we just table that, take that out, and then come back in that later?
And the rest of it looks good?
And I'll add some other stuff and send it back.
All right, so Lisa, if you'll work with him and then have a final recommendation at the next meeting for us on that.
Okay.
All right, anything else on legal, sir?
That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Where are we on the negotiations about the sewer? Have y'all met anymore?
Hadn't heard anything back on that. The last thing I met with, it's been several months ago, probably back in September, I met with Superintendent Green and kind of told him our concerns, and he said that he was gonna get with his corporate counsel and try to rough draft some kind of potential agreement, and he'll be back with us, so
Well,
I'll ask him.
Lisa and I have been doing some discussion. I'm trying to hook her up with Living Water to do some stuff, and we also have some ideas to talk with the school about,
Okay.
maybe some horse trading
Might be a,
stuff, so,
might be a good idea after that to maybe have another lunch meeting or something.
sounds good. Lisa, put that on your agenda as well.
I have one more thing, for the draft. Just something that the council needs to think about. Do we want to try to set up any blackout dates for holidays and events that come up, like the fireworks show? Maybe it's just something that we need to think about to make sure, like, not stop the sports from doing any like practice times or blackout any games or tournaments for certain dates when the town as a whole has something going on down there.
I think we need some verbiage in there to get the schedule approved and make sure we work around that kind of stuff. I don't know.
There is that language, let's see.
When there was, you know, even more than just that, but as, even for, rentals, you know, we wouldn't wanna have a community rental or somebody coming in to rent a field or a pavilion or something when we already have
A tournament.
fireworks going on, or a tournament going
Fireworks.
on, or something like that.
Look at paragraph 5, that's kind of ending, it's kind of headed in that direction about reserving the right for community events. You might want to say that that's scheduled by the town council or something, we can kind of have that highlighted, or kind of work that
I don't think it's ever been an issue here again.
Yeah.
Could do moving forward.
So before we close this discussion, do we have any public comment, input, anything on it? Yes, ma'am.
I have a question about the lock system.
Uh-huh.
If the Wi-Fi is down, does that,
That's a good question, I know where you're going with that. This is cellular, it runs off cellular.
okay,
So it will not, Wi-Fi will not affect it being on.
because I was worried about like if we have a game at night and then the Wi-Fi's down and we can't get in to.
And even if the cellular's off, the lock will still work with the last program code. The only thing we couldn't do is April couldn't go in and update code at that point. And if it was completely offline, the lock will still work.
We asked them those too, because I was like.
Great question.
I was like,
Even lost cellular towers?
If somebody goes in and rips the thing off the wall that controls it, the lock will still work.
The last program,
Yeah, the last program code, that's right.
I just couldn't delete you out if you were down there acting crazy, your code was still gonna work, you know? Like, until I can get back in. That's good.
Any other comments or questions? All right, we'll move forward then. We did the charter. Chamber of Commerce, only had a couple of things on it. Leadership, Blount County, and the Young Ambassadors are going to Montgomery February 26th. If any of the council members are interested in making a visit to Montgomery and meet with the legislative delegation, y'all are more than welcome. It's going to be a charter bus down there, so just let me know. Be Kind Cup's grand opening is going to be March 7th. Cleveland. Annual banquet is March 19th at 6:30. Anybody that has any nominations for businesses, volunteers, any of the awards for the awards banquet, please get those to the chamber ASAP. And the second annual Women's Luncheon is going to be March 26th at Lester, at LBC at 11:30, sponsored by St. Vincent's Blount. And that's all I have for chamber. So next is going to be roads. Adam, you have the floor.
Okay, as most of you in here have seen, we did some road repaving, had a little issues, we're going back and getting ready to do some shoulder work. Also, I made a mistake on my calculations when I did the bid spec. It was right to start with. Had a phone call from one of the pavers that told me to change my measurement. I went in there and did the changes, and then I messed up the math when I did it. So I need to get the council to vote on us paying the extra that it costs in tonnage for the asphalt. You want to throw that number out there, April? 'Cause I know you have it
Look
written
in
down.
your packet of AK, change order in just the purchase of asphalt.
And then we will also need to vote on the change order for the labor that was left off,
That's
which that should be the
Jeff,
next page,
if you,
right?
yeah, Jeff, if you.
Now, just for the purposes of the record, all this was purchased off the bid list, correct?
Yes.
Okay, alright, good.
Yeah, the asphalt
Did
was-
it really, on the person off that bid list, that you approved X amount of tons, but you bought, however much more you bought, it was always bought at a unit price that was bid out.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect.
And then this M&S, Jeff, if you look at M&S paving and sealing, that's actually Massey's new name.
They got all out.
Your contract that you drew up was the 73, and the extra asphalt's bringing it up to 82, you know, and some change, so if you wanna adjust, I don't know.
We could just call that a change order for 850195.
Right.
Normally, we don't like to get outside of 10%, but that's really close, I think that would be fine.
And that one's not.
I think, once again, it was all bid by unit specs anyway, so if you could have decided, just for instance, if you pave 3 roads and while you're out there, you decide to do 3 more, and everything's bid by unit anyway, so you would have been fine anyway, but it's just good to go back and ratify that decision and approve it, so y'all are doing the right thing.
Okay, now that will handle the extra that was left off the bid spec,
Right. Well, let's make a motion for that,
okay?
and then we'll move on to the next issue.
Should I?
No, I mean, you're.
I'm gonna make the motion that we, approve the change order for the labor and then also approve the, additional for the asphalt for APAC.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor? Opposed? Alright, that is passed.
Okay, the next thing is gonna be the shoulder work. We've got some areas that drop offs are way too far. There's a couple of driveways that the transitions aren't good, the paving company's gonna go back and fix those, so that's no issue. But we do need to do the shoulder work because it's just unsafe. So got a quote to have, dent space grade put down in the areas where the shoulders are high. The labor on that comes to $10,922.10, and that's for all 3 roads. So it's Witt Drive, Shady Point, and Sunny Meadows. And they quoted the material as well, but me and April went through Vulcan and was able to get their quote from $18,000 for the materials down to $14,000. So,
And that's buying it off the county bid specs.
Perfect.
so I would like to make a motion that we approve to purchase the material at Vulcan and approve the labor to do the shoulder work to Massey. I'm actually making that as a motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Alright, Adam and Adam. Any more discussion? All in favor? For those ayes?
I need voices.
Alright, motion approved.
Okay.
Alright.
I'm almost done. Okay, Zach, our town maintenance guy, since the winter time was a little slower for the park and grass cut and other things, he's been going around and helping me with the roads, look at the missing road signs, stop signs, things of that nature. So he has me a list. He's already went and replaced some of the road signs that we had in stock. He has also given me that list so I can make record of it. And then, it's kind of confusing in here, April, but I saw it.
GNC Supply Company.
There it is, okay. So we do have a quote from GNC Supply Company. We're gonna start, having Zach help us replace the signs instead of having to call the county. It's rather expensive to have them come out and replace one sign and bill us for it. So we can buy the signs in poles, have Zach do that during the slow time when he's not cutting grass during the summer. And so on the quote that we got, and this will actually take care of every road sign and stop sign. Now there will be some ancillary street signs, speed limit, slow children playing that might be missing that we'll come back to. But the quote to get the street signs and the stop signs addressed is $1,222. That's poles, hardware, signs, and we will actually be buying the high-pitch reflective signs. They'll last longer, they're easier to see, they're a little bit better quality than what the county has been putting out. And then hopefully we can put them up there, and if nobody steals them, they'll last for a long time.
Alright, so
So I wanna make a motion that we approve, $1,222.47 to cover the signs needed to replace stop and street signs.
And Jeff, that is also off the county bid list.
Awesome. So do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Opposed?
As far as we know, never mind.
Okay, and then, next month I'll have an update on what we've got going on the list of signs. And then when we meet next month, those 3 roads will be finished, they should be finished by next week.
Okay.
Cause they said they were just waiting on us to approve, they would go back and finish what they had to finish and then do the shoulder work at the same time.
Yeah, Vulcan said I can let them know about a project in the morning, they'll get a project on the books, and that's what Massey Contact will just call them on when they need to start delivering.
Okay.
And you did see the clause in there about time frames and stuff like that, if Massey makes them sit for more than 15 minutes, there'll be an hourly rate charge, so,
Or is it?
I mean, on Vulcan, so, Vulcan.
Oh, if you make them sit on site.
Yeah,
I got
because
you,
that's their
I got you.
delivery per, ton that they give us, and it's,
And they're basing it off probably GPS miles and how long it takes to get there, dump
yeah,
like,
so
come
they wanna
back.
come
Okay.
dump it and then roll out.
So then,
So we just gotta be cautious, Massey needs to be cautious on that.
alright, so she said Vulcan comes to deliver materials and they leave them sitting for longer than 15 minutes, there could be some additional charges. Do we need to vote to not to exceed number, or just leave it like this and?
Leave like this and nobody like.
Massey just needs to get, Massey just will need to
Make
get it
sure
right.
everybody-
Yeah, give it, just coordinate well.
Okay,
I just saw that on the backside of it, I was like,
I'm glad you saw that, cause I didn't
yeah,
know.
it's like $115 an hour is what they'll start you on the clock with in 15-minute increments.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, that only wound up being, what, 2-3 truckloads?
60.
60?
22, it was 60 originally because he didn't know the.
Oh, because the math
This
is wrong.
says 22 truckloads.
22 truckloads.
Yeah.
All right. Community
Alright.
center, senior center. Adam?
So, my stuff's more community driven.
Okay.
We had, there's 23 road projects going on right now, and our numbers are down to 8 or 9 in the senior center. We did partner with Locust High School and got with Tony Smitherman, and the ambassadors are supposed to be coming down, we don't have a date set yet, but to teach the elderly how to use technology, their cell phones, their tablets and things like that. And then in the county, we've been dealing with some scams that has gotten really bad. So especially with Hometown Bank or somebody local that's phishing their numbers. And so you're aware of that one? Okay, so we're also going to be teaching scam awareness to them guys, because unfortunately a lot of elderly is getting attacked by that and they're falling victim to it. So, but we do have a plan to get all that done here soon.
All right. Anything else?
Is it?
You said there was 8 people?
Yeah, in-house.
Forecasting one was a lot more.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so.
We have like 17 homebound, so we have a good
Yeah,
homebound number.
she's 23 now.
Is it 23? I know, I just pay mileage, so I don't know all of it.
Yeah, you got it.
I thought she told us this was it. I didn't hear her.
I think they had 3 new and then they dropped them.
Oh, okay,
It was like,
that makes
they
sense.
signed up and then they went away, so.
Who is this?
That's gonna be Lisa's, that's all, goes with the asset tracking.
All right. So, advisory,
Yes.
you're up.
Had several discussions about several topics. The first thing in your packet is on the asset tracking. I had asked the advisory board to get a quote for putting, tracking on the 2 pickup trucks and the lawnmower. So that was the recommended vendor, that you have a quote from. There are 2 possibilities for the lawnmower. One is the basic tracking. It's gonna be $12 a month instead of $20 a month. But if you wanna track like engine hours, if you really wanna get technical, then it's the $20 a month, just like it would be on each of the trucks. Hardware, with a 3-year contract, hardware is included for free. That's, if I remember right, that's about a $1,500 value. And so the total that you have there would be annual. Depending on what you decide to go on the lawnmower.
I don't think it's, all important to check the motor hours. I think the location was the biggest issue.
Right.
So what would be the total?
So the total would be, let me get to $504 a year. That's
And
20
that-
each for each of the 2 pickup trucks, and then $12 a month for the lawnmower.
And then the installation is separate?
Yes, the installation would be separate, but it's
But I'll also get to turn in that tracking on our AMIC insurance, and it will give us a discounted rate for our mower.
Oh, nice. So it might pay for it.
It should lower the insurance on the trucks too, shouldn't it?
We have that through DFIS, so I don't know, I'll have to get with them. I
Typically,
deal with,
anytime you put any kind of tracking system on a vehicle, it lowers the insurance.
I'll have to
on it.
get Robert to give me their contact. I don't know if you normally deal with DFIS, I just pay the bill for it. But I deal with AMIC, and so he told me the asset trackers give you a discount on stuff that is a known thing to be stolen to have a tracking device on it.
So do we have a motion to approve the 504 per year plus the $65 installation?
a 3-year contract.
That 60, let me
So the
correct, so on the
504 year, we just
65.
have to vote for 3 year, that's as low as they go.
So the 60,
Yeah, I think you just vote for the contract. And
Trevor,
it's
that's
a 3-year.
$65
Is that
an
correct?
hour.
It's a 3-year
It
contract.
So what?
estimates 3 to 4
The contract
hours.
is a 36-month
In
contract
our
at 504,
wheelhouse,
and so they would just vote on the
say
whole
high
3-year
amount of hours,
contract.
and then he'll bill us for less. Because usually, he estimates 3 or 4 hours to install all this on all 3 trucks, on all
So-
3 things.
Up to $260 installation.
That would work.
So do we have a motion?
Plug it, how's it gonna take that long?
The mower has to be wired into the engine, and then I think.
He said the other two was, he said more time setting up the registration.
Yeah, they're gonna be
than-
fully
than
functional
anything.
and downloaded.
Because you have to set up the back end of it.
Installation is 260.
260.
No more than 260, it'll probably be less than that.
So, Smithers, do we have a second?
Who made that?
And Joey White. All in favor? Opposed? All right, while we're on installation, since Adam has been out doing roads and stuff, he's had to park on the roads to check signs and do all that, and all he has is his flasher. And Trevor can put what's called a Z-flash, which will actually just use his currently installed lights. It just will make them flash in different patterns, use more than just the blinkers. It does the backup lights, it does the.
And it's more for my protection, because some of these roads that are in Locust Fork, while we live in a nice small peaceful town, there are some of them that are a little bit eerie to drive down. And people, when you stop and pull off the side of the road and you're looking at stuff and you get out of the vehicle, they start getting nervous. And we were actually out here last week, and one guy from the paving company was just driving a regular F-150. He did not have flashing lights. We come back around the curve, and one of the deputies was fixing to have it towed. I mean, it was that fast. We were only out there 20 minutes, and I was able to walk up and let the guy was with us, and they left it alone. Again, it's more for people to know what I'm doing when I'm out there.
So do we have a motion to approve the Z-Flash 687? Yeah. And,
Well, yeah, I'll make that motion.
do we have a second? Joe? You don't have
Anybody have a take on?
I'm gonna stand up.
Who else?
What's going on in my vehicle?
All right, all in favor? Opposed?
Joey White, I do
And then if my position goes away, that.
I don't have a vote yet.
I will agree to it.
That's what I like about it. It's not nothing extra you have to put on the truck. No extra lights. It just makes sure you have flash. You can unplug it and hand it back to them.
And that remains property of the town.
Correct.
All right. And next was, what do you want to cover next?
Let's go ahead and do the fair, so we can get that out of the way.
Okay.
And then we'll have a longer discussion about the bid. I met with the fair parking area is. Not even quite half of that, plus the area on the other side of the drainage. He said that should give them plenty of room to set up both, all the rods. It's gonna be a smaller fair, it's not gonna be a very large one. He said probably 3 to 4 big rods and several little small kiddie rods. And then game trailers and a food trailer out there. But they would like to do it the second or third week of March. It would run Wednesday through Sunday.
So
that
we're
was-
talking about this year?
Yes.
This year.
Yeah, because the way they have the fairs scheduled in Summerton and Aniana, and another one around here, and then they've gotta go back to Jasper. He said that fits in really, really well. We're still gonna have parking right there. People are still gonna be able to park on, at least half of where to park, the overflow parking. I would suggest considering, especially for Friday and Saturday night, that we may need overflow parking across the street, so having traffic.
We would need to have a deputy on.
Right, we need to have a traffic out there for Friday and Saturday. I'm not sure for this first year that it's gonna generate enough participation on Wednesday and Thursday nights or Sunday, but I would consider doing that for Friday, Saturday. They bring their own power, they're gonna use water from the shop right there, so that's all. They provide their own, they're there 24 hours, so they'll have some people in bunkhouses there to do security overnight, so we don't have to worry about there. They'll also block off with the temporary fencing right there at the ditch, so no one falls into the ditch.
You mentioned Wednesday and Sunday, is this 5 nights?
Yes, it'll be Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday afternoon. Is what they typically like to set up.
It's the one that happens in Aniana behind the utility board.
Yes,
Not the
it's-
agribusiness one, but the utility
Yeah.
board one.
It's the same one that's in like the downtown area. They do one in Summerton, they do a large one in Jasper, they do, and then they have another one here in the county.
So is there any cost to us, any revenue potential to us?
Not at this time. The revenue potential is bring just, a community event, bringing people in, if you're gonna eat at Jack's or Subway and buy gas at the gas station. So that would be this first year. I think maybe after this first year, see how it goes and reevaluate, potential after that. But it's always been a very positive thing in Aniana. I don't see a cost to the town unless y'all decide to provide the traffic,
The only revenue I see as town clerk would be, they sell popcorn, they sell cotton candy, they have to do sales tax on that, so I'm gonna,
Plus our business license.
or like,
Right,
little glow
business
sticks, or,
license,
whatever. I'm sure we'll get that. I wanna call Aniana and just talk to their town clerk to see what kind of revenue it brought them in that aspect, cause I'm not sure, I would think they have to sell that and charge taxes on it if they're selling them and charging people to buy.
We should, yeah.
So, I assume we would get that revenue.
So my question is with this being in March, how does that affect baseball and softball? I know y'all are just getting started right about the end.
Softball's already practicing, we really are thinking about doing this.
It'll be the second or third week in March.
So we start softball games on the 21st, March 21st.
Our first home game is gonna be March 23rd.
Okay, so if we can get it done the second week,
Yeah. we
that would
do
be
the
before their season
Right.
started. It would be better because then they're gonna be playing during the week.
Still gonna have
games Right, scheduled right.
that time?
Well, and it would,
Wait a minute.
That they're there?
and it being only on the back right here, a majority of the parking would still be available for, it's not gonna interfere with any of the ball fields or anything like
No,
that.
but I can only imagine what the parking would look like if you had a fair and some baseball and softball games going on at the same time.
I think the fair parks people.
Yeah.
I think that's what he told them, they park
He
people.
did say that they would take care of
and
everything,
literally-
and to clarify, when she said that they'll hook up to water at the shop, the guy that owns the fair company is related to the gentleman that just opened the tattoo place.
He's the dad of Josh
It's
Acosta.
the dad? Okay.
Yes.
Of Josh
So he
Acosta.
said he would tie into the water there.
Yeah, and they're gonna take care of that.
Yeah, they'll
water
take care of
bill.
everything else, so. But he did say they would take care of everything, so I guess I don't like to assume that that means parking, we probably just need to verify.
Sorry. When that happens, will we still be able to practice?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah,
We just
absolutely.
that's what we're asking.
We knew it would be kind of a no-no to try to do that when y'all having games going on.
Yeah.
That would be disastrous.
That'd be a little crazy, but
How's that gonna affect parking for people for practice and they go during those
It's
days?
gonna wind up being first come, first serve.
Yeah. How are you gonna handle handicap parking in that situation?
Well, the handicap will still be handicapped, no matter what. Now, if we plan accordingly and make sure that we have a deputy down there, then at that point, we are allowed to have people park across the street, which I know is further away, but it does give you more parking access. Might be something to think about if maybe there's some people in the community that might have a couple of golf carts that they could bring, so you could have some shuttles, just for the nights of practice. I mean, I'd be willing to loan mine out to one of you guys and let y'all use it. So if some people did have to park far away, you could drive them back and forth to the practice fields instead of them having to walk so far. But, I mean, that's gonna wind up, this being the first year we've tried to do this, there's gonna be a little bit of unknowns here. And I would assume more likely it would just be first come, first served.
Do you have a recommended date? The 10th to the 15th?
I do not, I was glad that we were discussing all of this with baseball and softball here, so we would know what their schedules were and if it could be worked.
Is the 11th through the 15th better, or is the 18th to the 23rd better?
Their first game is
It'd be
21st and
sooner.
21st.
It'd be sooner than
So
that.
really, the 11th through the 15th is only,
Unless they go earlier, which is really not giving you much.
Our game on the 21st isn't at home.
Oh, is it not?
No,
So the
it's
23rd
so
will be
our
first
first home game is the 23rd.
one? Okay.
Okay.
I mean, you
So-
could shut
so
one
either-
off and turn it on another one though, wouldn't you? What was the other day, the second day? The 23rd?
11th through the 15th.
the 11th through the 15th, or the 18th through the 22nd.
I was gonna say you finish the fair and then start baseball the next day. I mean, I
Softball.
guess it
I think
could
there's
work.
softball.
And
I don't know, when
Well,
does
he said
baseball
when they
start?
pull up and leave, they take out all the trash, he pulls in the dumpster, that it is left
Just like they pulled up.
just like they were never there.
So is that something, first, is that something the council is open to doing, or?
I think it would be a cool thing to have for the town, and there's not cost involvement to get it out here. It's something for the community to do, which I think is badly needed here. It's really the only big thing that you see, minus your sports, is the 4th of July program.
Yeah, fireworks show.
Yeah.
I agree.
So something to get the community together. I mean, I love the ideas. I
It's
don't know
called
everybody else thinks.
Ultimate Fair. I think you can look them up like online, it's called Ultimate Fair.
What dates are y'all wanting to look at?
I think the 11th to the 15th would just work better because that's a week away from when their games start. Because if you do the 18th to the 22nd, I mean, they're going to stop and there'll be a ball game the next day. That's a lot going on consecutive days at the park.
Is that a motion? So we
11th
have a
through the
motion to
15th.
approve the fair, Ultimate Fair, March 11th through the 15th.
I'll say it's good.
Alright, Adam Youngblood, Adam Smith. Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed?
Joe, did you say what?
Motion passes.
Which I guess, Lisa, you're going to have to check with them to make sure that they actually have that available, right?
Well, he said either the second week of March or the third week of March, that was
Tell them we
his.
approve the 11th through the 15th.
Okay.
So,
I think their goal was to just move that way. So they're gonna go to like Kimberly or something after that, I don't, like that way.
alright, so the last thing we have on the agenda is the new field at the park. I know that a group met with the advisory committee last Monday,
Yes.
and so you have a recommendation or discussion on that?
Yes, I met with Keith and Chris down there, and they kind of showed me what the layout was. It is a proposed ragdoll size field. They have a benefactor, or someone that's applying for a grant. That's the way that did y'all ever get any information on the grant that they were applying
He
for?
didn't tell me what kind of grant it was. He just said the process takes about 60 to 90 days. He's thinking end of May, 1st of June, and then you have a year to finish the project, and then they'll follow up on it 6 months in. He said it'd be around November, December. They just come down and make sure that we're using the money for what we say we're using it for.
Yeah, the location is corner over at the far right side of the athletic complex.
You're sitting backwards, this back corner.
I'm
Back
sorry,
towards the-
if I'm looking at it, if you're
Back-
looking
back
at it,
towards
it's
the
the back
school.
far,
Yeah,
yes,
the
it's back
school
towards the
fence.
school.
No,
No,
left field fence.
Left field
Left-
fence
Okay.
on the big baseball field.
Okay.
If you go down the
Yeah.
left field line,
So on the
the
concession
right
side.
field line will be that.
Okay.
Yes.
I was thinking the other side, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
no, it's back in that back
Okay.
corner, by the left field fence.
Okay.
So they had a initial quote for the field. I think that the council will have to make a decision as far as, it's gonna be our recommendation that if the $100,000 is awarded, that we go ahead and do the larger expanded project with the dugouts. But now that is I would have to get a recommendation for Jeff as far as proceeding on the,
Now, that's gonna trigger your,
Yeah, we're gonna have to bid it.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to bid it out.
yeah.
go ahead and bid that project down, but, you know.
Well,
We can use these specs.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you and baseball feel comfortable with this being put out to bid, like these specs? Or would you want to elaborate more or make any changes on it? Because we would have to send this out and let people bid based off of this.
Yeah.
Nah, those are pretty accurate on
Okay.
Yeah.
especially with the first one with the, concrete dugouts. So I think he did one with concrete dugouts and one with just chain links.
Yeah.
So does this include, lights or anything like that?
No, I talked to the electric company, put the LED lights on field two. Wouldn't have to do anything with poles or anything, just come back down with another bracket on the
And
lights.
that would suffice?
And that would suffice for that.
So what we'll wanna do in the scope is include that in the scope and, anything else that we think we need. We need to make it all inclusive, cause even if we get 100,000, if it's gonna be 120 or 130, you know, we'll approve the whole thing, but we need to make sure that is all inclusive and there's not a gotcha or whatever. So anything and everything that y'all can think of that needs to be, whether it's, you know, physically, we need the pitcher's mound, we need the bases, we need, you know, everything that we can think of that we need, let's go ahead and include it initially as far as the bid itself.
I think the only thing that wouldn't be on there would be the lights.
But no poles have to come down, right?
No poles have to come down, they just come off the existing poles with another bracket.
Do we need any additional on the other side of the field? Any
They
poles?
do the same thing.
So as long as we can get that added into this spec before we put it out to bid, then we can make sure that all that's covered. So the more you have in there, the better off everybody will be, because then it'll all be inclusive for you.
The only thing that I didn't see in here that that advisory board would recommend expanding on is there's no cost in here for any sort of engineering or surveying or shooting, the
Drainage.
elevations, drainage, that kind of thing. So I would definitely take a look at having a way to get numbers for elevations and drainage and that.
And we have money in the budget for that, we'll just need to make sure to get some estimates on engineering.
Well, there was one for the drainage. It was like $26,000. But that was the additional for the.
yeah, that was for the.
Okay, I don't see that spec. Yeah, if y'all will,
But it says page 1 of 3, and I have one page. This one looks like a completely different
No.
page.
well, this is one, that's two.
So you have two quotes. The way his system works is when he generated one, or an additional one, it kicked out the old one. Unfortunately, we don't have time to go back and get the other one, so I just printed what I personally had. So that's the reason
quote
you have
1
one
is
page.
65,000, quote 2 is 96, and the difference is the dugout.
Right.
Okay, I got you.
So what we need to do is, I think in concept, we think this is a good idea. We need to make sure and finalize and make sure there's no gotchas, include the lighting, the engineering and all of that in the specs. And then, we'll definitely use this vendor as one of people that can bid on it, but
Yeah, I think that the only real issue tonight is the council agreeing to the project to allow Chris Hammond to go ahead and file, because the grant's gotta be filed by February 15th. And I mean, I understand his hesitation to file a grant if he doesn't have the, the approval from the council that they're gonna.
Well, basically what you're doing is approving the concept approving the concept.
Yeah.
You're not making
I'll make a
any,
motion to do it.
okay.
To approve it. Is
Yeah,
that all right?
Get us
Just
to
to
concept.
Concept.
approve the concept of the new,
New field for
New
grant
field.
purposes.
Right, and then we can go back and take a look at actually getting a project
Spec
scope
it out
and
and
getting
all
specs and all of that, so.
That's a huge start though, I mean, I know there'll be some stuff that'll probably need to be added to it, but that's a huge start.
they want to know that the government body is behind the project, because if they're not, then you never get the grant,
Right.
basically.
Right.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
All right, so. All right, any other discussion?
Did you get all?
Yeah.
We need all.
Any other discussion? Great job on getting this together. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. All right, we're down to public comment.
Look, I just have